Why the hell did this take me 2 hours to get back to? I don't know. Soon enough the bell rings, and it's on to AP Photography. Maybe it's because he's given me so much faith in the other class, or because Ben is a goody two-shoes. But the Atticon has given us both passes to roam the school for photo opportunities for the lighting project. Ben is in full tour guide mode, vomiting troves of information after not being able to on day one. Lucky for me, his excitement means little need for input on my part. And I find myself thinking a lot about a lot as I go through the motions. I nod along at Ben's descriptions of every square inch of the school, but I find myself with photography on the mind, ironically enough. I don't have any talent. I have no special interests, and my internet activity is hardly marketable or artistic in any real way. A life spent pissing people off anonymously isn't really proportional to the utility it provides. What do you mean proportional? What? Do you mean the time spent is proportional to the utility? Because, like, that life still lived, man. I don't want to argue that. Olivia has her art, Liz has a business dream, and Damien has unassailable optimism? Seems to be working out for him. I tune back into Ben for a moment. Of course, this is the top-of-the-line Olympic swimming pool that the Predators use to train ridiculously to. Okay, no need to keep listening. But on second thought... Hey, Ben. Yes, I know. He's thrown off tempo for a moment, but quickly switches into listening earnestly. You like photography, right? Well, yes, of course. Why? Why? Well, certainly you would be of a similar mind. Why is he quoting something, but he's not quoting it? Like, why are you using non-quotation marks for what is technically a complete quote? Like, you do this when you're paraphrasing. It's like, I don't know, man. I always go with double quotes if it's an actual quote, because this is a fucking quote. It's a quote. There's no paraphrasing or intuition here. Humor me and pretend for a second that you didn't have to sell me on it as a hobby, or an art form even. Kind of feels scummy to keep lying to Ben, but I don't want to get wrapped up in the semantics of what I said when we first met right now. All right then. He rubs his narrow chin as he looks up. Well, to use a cliche, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Listen, I like photography, but they go a little far with this, okay? They really try to squeeze photography for everything it's worth. And, like, I know photographers, and I tried for a while. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not that deep. And I'm not saying that because painting is any deeper. It's just, none of this is deep. None of this is all that deep. Writing is, in my experience, where, like, the deepest meanings are, because you have more time and space to communicate more complex ideas. Paintings and pictures are kind of first glance and then regurgitation. Like, you're immediately done with the first read. So there's a limitation to how profound you can really be. You can be evocative. Like, that's the power of a painting, is you can be immediately evocative. But there's a limit. There's a limit. Music has kind of the best of both because it's relatively simple and you don't have to put as much effort into it compared to reading where you have to imagine everything. With music, you can let yourself wash away. Then you pay attention and you notice the instruments you didn't notice before. There's a certain layeredness to it. Like, I feel like with a lot of books, you read it once, maybe twice, and you usually get the broad strokes of it. With music, a couple of times to really get it. With art, it's a whole different thing. And it really tries to go that idea of like, oh, well, it's really big. And I'm, come on, man. Calm the fuck down, Anon. Put your penis back in your pants. A cliche, that most definitely is. What does it mean, and why should I care? In this hypothetical. He grows a contented smile. Well, you are certainly pushy with but deeply about it. Then, to give it meaning, a single photograph can evoke those 1,000 words. 1,000 feelings. 1,000 other evocative ideas. All in how it's framed. Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, to be fair, this is why comics exist, right? This is why comics exist. Or why collages exist. Because a photograph can evoke 1,000 words. Most stories are longer than that. So, you know, you can play with the weakness of your medium to exploit a new kind of strength. That's the fun of art! And that's different from painting how? Well, the most obvious... Oh, wait. Well, the most obvious is that I personally can't paint for worth a damn. And all in agreement. But there is something to be said for having to stray yourself to reality. Someone could paint an alien world and evoke awe, or capture a mundane sight in such a fantastical way. But that requires an inner eye, a solid imagination. To make a good photo, among many variables you have to juggle, you will need an eye that can see such beauty in a world around you. When is the last time you looked at the sunset? Honestly, years. I mean, you say that, but a lot of photography does feature, like, filters and alterations and lighting changes. Like, people can say, oh, you know, filters don't count. You're using a fucking camera, right? Digital cameras, by definition, are screwing around on some level because of how Bayer filters work and stuff. But more importantly, also because of how displays work. Not every display is the same. I assure you, they are not all the same. Not just the camera is fucking around here, buddy. Also, the storage method you use. Is it a JPEG? Are you going for lossless? Are you going for lossy? Because you need to take, you know. And then somewhat more importantly than all of that, you could, like, don't pretend that photography is constrained to reality. Even if you were to use one of those Lumiere things where you put the fucking potato starch with the paint in. I don't know what to tell you, man. There is a reason why a motherfucker drew a painting that was, this is not a pipe. Because even photography is not reality. Especially nowadays, man. Especially nowadays. It never was and it never will be. It will always be constrained by the medium and method by which it is captured. Also, the person looking at it, you know? When are you looking at it? Are you looking at the picture in a bright day? Are you looking at it through Damien's cracked phone screen? To take a good photo, there are many minute variables you have to juggle. You need to have an eye. Wait, I already said that. Well, when you see the word like a photographer, everything becomes a frame, a shot. You kick yourself when the perfect appears without the camera to catch it. It is to capture a moment in time. More solid than a memory, more vibrant than a recollection. What? Why are those different? That golden hour becomes something addictive. Isn't our memories just recollections? Or is recollection more like a written version and a memory is more like a flashback? So special about a sunset. There's one every day. I would have preferred going with what's so special about the sun setting, because this implies... It gives Anon a bit more credit than he deserves. Ben has a wistful, misty-eyed look when he says, but it will always be different. Not just in our lifetime, but for the rest of every lifetime. There's something about the scratchiness as he says that line. It betrays some insight that I can only pretend to get right now, but it succeeds in making me want to. Very good, Ben. He takes off his glasses for a cleaning, clearly blinking the water from his eyes. What water? Anon, did you throw water at this poor man? I'm glad I could provide a serviceable answer. What brought this on? I'm just thinking about stuff. I want to begin anew. From now on, treat me like a novice, like I never really knew much, there are not many pictures to my name. Jesus Christ, Anon, just admit, eat the crow while it's young and tender. You've already made such strides with Olivier, you can clearly do this all in the same fucking day. God, I hate how much happens in one day. Just fucking hate it. Like, I'm fine if a lot happens in a day, but you can't have this much character development in one day. It's my problem. It's too much. Anon needs to process this shit. I've gone through major character arcs, and they take weeks. They are not a thing you do in a day. Oh, well, peculiar request, but I will. Ike, follow me. We still have some time to see a few choice spots where the sun would be perfect. I follow Ben to a few outdoor locations he thinks would be perfect. But I actually have neither the artist nor the photographer's eye, so I'll have to see which is best when the time comes. Also, Ben, for this whole moment capturing thing, I would like to point out that some artists do just paint still lifes, you know? Or portraits. Or caricatures. Ben and I agree to meet back at school Saturday morning, which I only find worth it if I can glance that magic Ben was talking about. Not holding my breath, though. The period comes to an end and I make my way to Prockling's class. The beginning of the period only goes to prove that this class will never improve. I don't think you should use prove and improve in the same sentence like that. Only Mrs. Why do I keep calling her Mrs.? Only Miss Prockling can talk about horrific war crimes and death-defying battles of the Dino-Human War in such a banal way. Man, I never thought that hundreds of thousands of people dying could ever be so boring. I'm yawning by the time she's reached the wrap-up, having skipped all the cool stuff. She's not even calling forward to other time periods, like the use of car fentanyl to tranquilize eventually devastating urban dino communities as a quick, cheap high. Is that like the Opium Wars, or is that more like what happened in Black America? 'Cause both are, you know... Don't even get me started how she skipped over the Holominid? Oh, the Holocaust. What a weird way to redefine that term, because I think most people would attach to the cost part of it. Holo is a bit more genericized nowadays, especially because of HoloLive and holograms, but the cost still has that structure to it, you know? Although saying homocost, which sounds like homocost, which is like... I don't know, man. I know that gay people were involved in the Holocaust, but don't give him the spotlight with a single sentence in reference. I wonder who perpetuated it. It's probably the dinosaurs who don't want to think about it too hard. Olivia sure looks more down than usual. I mean, she's listening to some pretty depressing shit, man. At least as far as I can tell from behind her. The tilt dips down and oddly moves. She's taking notes, just staring at her open book. Oh wait, she's not making notes. And just staring at her open book listlessly. Yeah, I sure did a great job, Damien. Fuck me. Sure enough, no one else in class is having any fun either. Oh yeah, we're doing this thing again. Prockling's show for us with Coach Solly. Okay, we're just gonna skip through this because I don't fucking care. In case you forgot what happens here, hello. Oh no, it's a piece of paper. It gets sent around, and then it comes to Anon, and he's like, oh man, I'm gonna draw something. And there's some cute art here. Is she a crocodile, an alligator? I don't know. Who knows? I think he looks it up later. Maybe it was someone else who said it. That took it a bit to make it a croc. Doesn't he also comment on the rat? And I was like confused, and I was like, oh yeah, because she draws a rat in here. A cartoon rat with a realistic end giving a thumbs up, encouraging everyone to participate. I like how the author tried to do like line thickness things by adding gray lines, and I don't even know what the fuck's going on with that. I don't even know why you bothered with this. Like, it's a cute way to break it up, but if you're not going to do this consistently, it just feels out of place. Like, again, it's what makes the demo so weird. It does this once. Why does the demo do this? And then never again do we draw anything. It's so weird. They made a whole special section for it, too. Anyway, Anon's getting torched by crazed Olivia in a cool car, so go ahead and give it a look. Chapter 3. Her tail hits the floor, blah, 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 blah. Mrs. Halford, it's the spider. Oh, we're doing the same joke. God, where does this pick up again? Oh, it's not even that long. Spider, spider, spider. Oh, yeah. He's like, I can't. She starts to mouth something at me. I don't know what she's saying. Dino mouth does not equal dino lips. Human lips. Dino lips! And then she sketches something anyway. With 6 out of which we do this. It's cute. It's cute. But let's be clear. I don't care, and it feels kind of weird. Like, I don't know, sort of the kind of person who would just stay out of all kinds of trouble where he could. You know, there's a reason he's doing this shit online. And not for real life. For truth, as they say. Maybe it's a woman thing? Oh yeah, Halford leaves early. And then we get that little moment. Okay, here we go. I now realize that the doodle page ended on my turn. Not really feeling like adding a final piece. It's fitting that you would be the last person to have a turn, but I'll be keeping this. Page secured and class ending, I gather my stuff and head out to make my way home. I struggle against the end of this horde. That's the wrong horde, man. That's a horde as in a collection, not a horde as in a mass. Of students and their ebbs and flows just trying to leave the building. I mentioned that Olivia's art sweeps everything in the halls, and looking around every single hall pieces up. Even the not art wings. Guess it makes sense for a primarily art-oriented student body. Something rams my chest, stopping me dead and knocking the wind out of me. I look down and see Olivia. She has an arm out up and out towards me. She's still eyeing me inquisitively, now with far less suspicion. Her jaw opens up, but no words come out. She realizes she's still touching my chest and removes it, awkwardly moving it from her arm to rest on her lap, back a few times. Armrest, lap, armrest, lap, armrest, lap. Gets up to me to take the initiative, which again is the fucking problem with this matchup. So, you could have told me that you were in Mrs. Prockling's class too. You could have mentioned that. Yeah, but the 11-hour reveal in the drawing game was pretty cool, right? Definitely planned. She hums an acknowledgement. No approval or disapproval, just a non-verbal sure. Whatever. Later, I guess. She starts to wheel away, but I stop her before I can think. Anon, you're doing a lot on instinct. It's almost like the author realizes you can't actually do anything here. And you suddenly have a monkey brain. Your monkey brain wants to snoo. Why stop me? We could have discussed this tomorrow and asked few words. We sit at lunch. She takes a long time in thought before turning... Oh, wait, I need to turn the screen back on. With an anxious eye. I don't really get you. Why do you care? He doesn't! It's Anon! He starts caring about Fang after like a long period of like, them just knowing each other and him passively being around her. This is why this isn't... It knocks the wind out of my sails. I don't know. Of all questions to ask, I have absolutely no... I love how at least it's honest with itself, you know? At least like, yeah, this doesn't actually work as a story. Man, it's almost like Anon is a completely different person from Inko. It's almost like Anon and Inko are like opposites. And Olivia is the Anon of the story, so... She seems unimpressed. I don't know why that's the same sentence. Why don't you just put a fucking period in that quote? But I will look to her in... But God damn it! I will myself to look in her eyes and convey my honesty. Feels like you gave me half the time, but don't care the other half. But there's still a secret 10% that may want me to drop dead. She looks ashamed at that. I wonder why I keep trying when it seems like you want nothing to do with me. I wonder why you try at all. Like, why are you trying with Ben? Like, you've been here for 3 days! That should be the chapter of this fucking video. It's been 3 days! Come on! OG Anon took weeks! I keep messing up and saying stupid shit. Probably worsening me in your eyes. But I keep trying against all reason. I think I want to be your friend. Because you're addicted, because of Damien. But the story doesn't even try that. She seems a little indignant as I go on about my presumptions of her, before my final words make her go wide-eyed in shock. But not with a shocked expression. Mr. Yadakon seemed to think that was a terrible idea. Not really sure how he sees it, but the end result is the same, I think. She offs at the mention of... Wait. Oh, wait, this is him. Oh, his final... Jesus Christ. Mr. Yadakon seemed to think it was a terrible idea. Not sure how he sees it, but the end result is the same. I think. Olivia huffs at the mention of the Yadakon and turns away. Before she can roll off, I ask, hey, does that mean you don't want the note? No. What, with the doodles? From class? Why? Well, your contributions beasted on mine, Mr. Beast style, with the feastables, and the lunchables, the lunchlies. So it seems a little selfish to keep it myself. I had fun doing it, but it isn't my call as far as I'm concerned. Silence prompts me to reach for the binder, but before she decides. Why don't you include a little but there, because it's a... Like, this feels like a sentence that's really trying to be smooth, but it's not. Her silence prompts me to reach for my binder before she decides. It just... include some linking words, please. It's just doodles. You can throw it out. She catches herself, seemingly thinking better. Why can't you just let that stand on its own 2 feet? That is evidence from how you're writing it. Keep it, if it's so important. Like, there's so much redundancy in the weirdest places in these fics. I don't know, if I didn't know any better, I'd say she was happy with that outcome. She turns to a nearby elevator, and I realize it must have been the only way for her to transcend the school's level. She's not transcending, she's traversing, or transporting, but not transcending, and she's not going... You can't... Elevators are such you physically can't transcend them, because they're confined to a specific space. Ugh. Anon, I'm revoking your cool words card. Give it here. Give it here. Talk like a normie, loser. Come back when you know what you're doing. When the elevator arrives, I'm about to head my own way. All right, Olivia. Thanks to see... do you want to come along? I don't have much time to deliberate as the door begins to squeal closed. Man, you should have written seal closed, like she's dying and entombed. My body acts before I can answer, slipping in before they can shut. Because Anon, who again... is a fucking loser, would not get in an elevator with a girl. And so you have to force it by making him monkey. Whoever this monkey Anon is, I want him out of here. He's too convenient. Sure, I say, already in the enclosed space. Oh no, it's the Anon alarms that should have prevented him from doing this in the first place. And, this is twice Anon's alarms have gone off later. He was touched by her. She put her hand on his stomach. Anon, are you worried about girls or not? Also, DEFCON goes the other way. As the number goes up, it gets better. Tsundere confirmed. Jesus Christ, Anon, you've talked to Liz. Oh, Spaghetti Titan. Where were these when you were talking to Yadakon and everyone was leaking spaghetti out of their orifices? Jesus! I hold my breath once I survey the situation. Last elimination had a peach fragrance, something I hadn't noticed on Olivia before now. Probably because you're surrounded by the entire school. But this is really close. Seriously, considering that she has to use those big fat arms to move her big fat body, I'd be impressed if she doesn't smell like something weird. You okay? She asks like grow lightheaded from the lack of oxygen in a racing heart. See, this stuff is how you get Anon to do stuff. But instead he just acts because he has to. It's so contrived. This is plot convenience. My man. You live in a community that thrives on bitching about movies and stories not being written properly, and you're doing it. You're doing it. It's you. You're the man in the mirror. Is this thing safe? Why don't you call out the fucking squeakiness of the elevator before you do that? Just call out the elevator. Come on. And then you have him ask it. You know, it's cuter that way. Or you can have him be like, oh, wait, the elevator. I'll just go that way. Because, I get it. He's supposed to... But nothing here has actually established the elevator is weird, right? Also, him being scared of elevators. God, Anon, please. No one buys that. No one. Not. What are you even doing, Safi? Stop. No. Worst case scenario, we break our legs. I mean, in your case, Olivia, you break the axle on your wheelchair, and you would also be fucked. Like, sure, that thing will break part of your fall, but then it's broken. Not if I can jump into your lap and free fall. Shit. Definitely getting cup checked with a... Jeez. I do appreciate that there is definitely a hint that Anon thinks that every single response he gives to anyone involves him getting smacked. With Damien and now Olivia. Like, Jesus Christ. Instead, her smirk falls as the scales blush. And she presses the ground floor button finally. Why doesn't this elevator just move automatically? Aren't there, like, only 2 floors? Like, No, wait. The outside picture shows multiple, right? I like how they sat in the elevator for, like, a whole fucking minute before going anywhere. Also, she waited, like, what, 10 minutes outside? Jesus. Olivia, please. Respect your time. You could see him at lunch. Like, I don't think either this or Wani ever points out that it's kind of weird she's waiting for like 10 minutes outside of the class for this. Instead of lunch. And intercept him there. Actually, that would be a bit more difficult. And also longer. Might forget about them. Also, you know, teen hormones. You gotta do it now! I look to Olivia for any indication if this is normal. I like how he asks if it's safe, and it hasn't moved yet. Other than the squealing doors, I guess. To be honest, if you're going to write about the elevator, you gotta ham it up, man. I love that the original game has such sound effects for it. But come on, man. Just give me the elevator. Give me the rusty corners. Give me the smudged, smeared buttons. Yeah, that's how I like my elevators. Described. Give it some character. So that when they're in here later, you're like, oh, man, really? How homey. Anyway, they're at the bottom now, I guess. And they're all like, yep, this happened. I don't know why this happened at all. I guess it's just kind of cute. What purpose did this serve in the first one anyway? I forgot. I think it's just Olivia reaching out. Anyway, Anon is suffering a heart attack, which is great for him. And then the story just ends. No reflections, no further recollections, no nothing. No, the story is done here. We're done. Moving on. I'm pissed off and I'm mad. And next up is the pool episode. And trust me, if you think I'm mad now, I think I might just go to that fucking infamous one. Because I think I'll be a hell of a lot less pissed off reading that one. How does it start? How does it start? Because Cell's weird adventure starts with him just immediately fucking body slamming the narrative. So the beast is coming. Oh shit! It's Zeke! I remember that guy! Holy shit, we're just doing the ending of the game? He discovers that he's been transformed into a young teenager, and his once formidable power status serves to a flicker of their former strength. So we're going with a real interesting one. Again, I really do love that A, they have an OC, and B, they have like a cool poster! You know, this looks... It's a lot more consistency in, like, paragraph size, for one. It really seems to linger around 3 to 1. Which, hey, makes this fucking smudgy as hell for my eyes. It does use sound effects to nicely intersperse things. That's great. I just want to go read this right now, but I think I'll do it tomorrow. God damn. Cell's weird trip, though, is hilarious. God fucking damn it. That's what I want to see. I want passion. I don't want your bullshit that's just the same fucking shit I've already seen and it doesn't work. Fucking hit me across the face. Make me love it. Damn.